Now you can hear me. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Let's get on with the game. Terribly sorry about this, folks. I'm gonna have to cut this from this. All right, take two. Welcome to my castle. Don't expect everyday logic to work here. It went out of the window sometime after midnight, maybe earlier. My kingdom is not of this world, you see. It lies far outside of concrete, tangible reality. I've tried to identify the way people reach it, and am convinced it has something to do with the moon. Now that I think about it, I don't think this is Julia. Some say the moon's aura can turn them insane. You've heard the phrases moonstruck and lunatic. The way I see it, moonlight gives them some subliminal permission to reveal their true selves. See you soon, honey. And so, whenever they let the silver radiance guide them to the gates of this place, they feel different. Once they pass the doorstep, they're ready to act out. A dance of horrors and marvels begin. And I will lower my own headphone volume a little bit. This is something I noticed. If you exit out of the game, it's going to click a lot. Alright, so, like I said, this stream is going to be me talking about how New York, the Camarilla, and Lasombra, and other clans are presented in this game. So, this is an in-depth post-mortem that I'm doing after my review, which I hope most of you have seen. Warning, this video is going to be very spoilery. Thank you everyone for showing up. It is 3:31 a.m. Welcome to Big Beat Burger. If you're here at this hour, you're not exactly readying up to be a productive member of society come tomorrow morning. More likely, you're praying that the sunrise never comes. Insatiable children of the night gather around, hoping to bask in the afterglow of tonight's victories, unwind after a frustrating series of failures, not series, or simply fight to keep themselves together. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here, greedily reveling even in every interaction they have. They have no idea they are only here for my amusement. To them, I'm just a random girl sitting in the corner. But this is my domain. I've been coming here almost every night for years. I know where to sit, where to look, and where to eavesdrop for maximum amusement. Should I be doing a voice for Julia? I feel like maybe I should be doing a voice for Julia. I mean, I am doing a voice. I'm basically a voyeur. I got it during the voyeur, and unashamed to admit it. It gave me insight about the human condition I'd never otherwise have gathered, and more importantly, a necessary skill set to make ends meet as a journalist. As I write on my crappy old laptop, patiently waiting for the legion of negative voices in my head to get too tired to offer useless feedback, I keep my senses peeled to pick up stories around me. Voyeur. There you go. Voyeur. Thank you very much. It's a French word. It should be voyeur. Anyway, of course, a lot of regular events, such as food fights, are nothing to write home about, aside from my unfortunate tendency to become collateral damage in someone else's battles. Up to this day, I've had to wash my clothes because of Coke, Diet Coke, hot coffee, apple pie, and some sort of improvised honey mustard bomb. Every stain tells a different story. So this is before the embrace right now going on. This is an introduction to Julia, who has a little bit more of a personality than the previous, more or less baseline or canvas-like fledgling that you were playing in Coteries. Sometimes this hobby is exhausting, sometimes it's disturbing, sometimes it's dangerous, although not as risky as back when I wasn't carrying pepper spray. Well, that's an important thing, keep that one in mind. Still, the sights I've taken in over the years here have made it absolutely worth it. I've got so many stories, I don't know where to begin. Theatrical breakups, impromptu morning parties, unexpected friendships forged in the fires of senseless battle. A lady in a gorgeous Givenchy dress, ordering a box of takeout chicken nuggets, paying in cash with her hands completely covered in blood. She was asked if she wants a napkin. She said no. Two thirsty macho dudes shamelessly going for it in the corner, hushed moaning filling the lobby while everyone around valiantly fights to act as usual and maintain an illusion of normalcy. A straight-up kung fu fight between a diminutive cashier and some drugged bodybuilder going through a psychotic episode trying to break all the windows. The big guy left the joint fully convinced he KO'd himself while the service worker was just standing next to him. Seemed proud of his victory, too. Hey, you two, stop fighting. Got cats fighting in the background. Dapping each other. A middle-aged hag getting a heart attack after screaming her lungs out not to let Muslims near her food just because she saw a white girl wearing a hairnet behind the counter. A masked couple robbing the restaurant of 30 hamburgers, forcing the employees to cook at gunpoint. Police later said those were art students reenacting some hipster book they read, or a scene out of, I don't know, Pulp Fiction. This is life. Oh, they steal money though in that one. This is humanity at its worst and best. Now, this is an important scene in my well, of course it's an important scene, it's the first scene, but like this really reflects back on a lot of Julia's interaction with Kindred Society as well. Like she's very much an observer. I would say that she's been extremely passive up to the point where we started playing the game. So this is kind of like I guess you could say that her approach to Kindred Society is kind of mirrored in the way that this introduction is being made, that she never really makes an effort to integrate herself in the goings-on. She's just watching from the outside, and it's about really if you're going to keep doing that or not. Let me just turn off my other PC because I realized I'm not going to be using it today, so I'm not going to be wasting any power. This is the noise that serves as the foundation for my creativity. This is the soma that keeps me going. This is... Soma, by the way, excellent horror game, in my opinion. As pathetic as it may sound, these days, this is the only place where I feel alive. Sometimes I think of myself as a leech, feeding on these people's stories, emotions, and personalities just because I'm not satisfied with mine. At times, I think of my psyche as some kind of shitty postmodern construct that is fundamentally incapable of honesty, but only yearns for something felt and truthful. I gotta admit, though, by the way, I'm not lying in my sort of clickbaity title. Lasombra is very rapidly becoming one of my new favorite clans. For those of you who don't know, I do have a favorite clan, and that's never gonna change. But Tremere has been kind of second place. I'm afraid they might be shifting to third place because I'm really digging Lasombra. 5th edition really did it for me. Although, to be honest, going back reading the older books, I think I latched on to the pirate image of Lasombra a lot. Like, oh, they're sailors. I think that's maybe how it was sold to me. And I'm like, I'm not into pirates, but there's so much more than that. And that's just a small fraction of the clan. Yeah, I agree. Blade of Astaroth. Is that... You want me to call you Astaroth? Blade of Astaroth? BOA? BOA sounds a little bit dirty. But I agree with you. Lasombra all the way, man. Does this even make any sense? I look at the screen on my laptop, 3:47 a.m. At this point, I'm almost somnambulic, but nothing interesting has happened yet. Feels like all the customers are watching each other tonight, hoping for the others to provide a fun diversion. Blade. Let's go with Blade. That's cool. It's a good name. Yeah, I love shadow powers, and I really love how they implemented them in this game. And I do also really like, I like that, okay, well, I can see why the merging of the Abyss and the Shadowlands, I suppose you can say, is a little bit of a controversial topic. I think it would have been fine to keep them separate, but I really do like how Lasombra can accidentally lose himself in the shadows. Yeah, you're right, Nemeroider. It's certainly a fitting name for a fan. Do what you want because a pirate is free. You are a pirate. Yeah, Lazy Town. That's good stuff. That is Lazy Town, right? And yeah, he's a fantasy. I can say I do relate a bit with Julie as well. I'm a little bit more proactive, but I can definitely see where she's coming from. Yeah, Lasombra are what the Venture wish they were. Change my mind. I can't, because honestly, it's true. Lasombra don't have the infinite pool of money, at least not most of them, but it's a small thing for a vampire to have. This is my turf, you parasitic douchebags. Next time, go find your own. Also, in case you don't notice, I've gotten a new chair. No more squeaking. Got it. I think it's time to call it a night. The coffee I always order so that they don't kick me out is undrinkable. Ugh. I reread the rough draft I've been working on for the last 6 hours. God Damn it, this is pure trash. I'll hold the backspace button until the Google document page is nothing but a calm white slate and let out a sound of deep relief. There's no pleasure more intoxicating for a frustrated writer than ragging on someone even worse than them. I'm just gonna screenshot that one for posterity, because that's useful artist tips. And what target is easier than the dumb bitch you used to be 10 minutes ago? Oh yeah, I mean, Lasombra, I'd say you can watch a lot of my Sabat videos as well as my specific Lasombra lore videos to get the gist of them. I think the revised clan book is really good for that. But they are really the brains behind the Sabat. Like, with them leaving the Sabat, the majority of them leaving, I think the Sabat is... They're gonna have to fill that space. That means you can't do that. They're not built for it. I checked the time again. I need to go. Now, Robin, I do agree with you, but there is a PDF out there. I believe it's a long, hard road out of hell, I think the PDF is called. If someone in the chat knows about it, then please correct me if I'm wrong. It actually is a fan work. It offers you alternative... Yeah, I got that fucking clicking noise going on. Sorry, that happened all the time because I would alt-tab and make notes while I was reviewing the game, and it was click, 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 click. So sorry about that noise. But yeah, the long, hard road out of hell offers alternative morality for V5. It's very well made. Kudos to it. I have an important meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m., and I have a hunch it's not going to end well. And it's not because I am an irresponsible dumbass who's going to need a few cups of coffee to simply function on a basic level despite like 4 hours of sleep. Gratuitous picture of yourself. That's a little bit of a 2012 callback right there. It's because I always have a hunch things are not going the way they're supposed to. Click, clack, click, click, clack. The loud clatter of keyboards assault me from all sides, makes this splitting headache unbearable. Yeah, Blade, I agree with you. It really gives you a good insight into like how you kind of just wanna embrace this frustration, this anger. You're also so detached. 2020 is a bad year to be a Lasombra. Like, I can say this as many times as I want, because it's my channel, of course I can. But the Lasombra really got the ass end of 2020 with their flaw. Like, they're not able to use cell phones. They're not able to watch... Well, I guess technically they can watch TV from a distance, but they're so crippled by their inability to use technology in 2020 that they're so, like, disconnected. It's got to be super hard for them to maintain like relationships in a world where relationships are very much going digital. And especially, I mean, if you're gonna make based in real life with COVID-19, then yeah, it's tough being Lasombra. Used to be, I dreamed of nothing else but being a part of the New York Lodestar editorial team. It was the first magazine I started reading regularly, the first magazine I ever bought for myself. Now, simply hearing the word Lodestar is enough to ruin my mood. Never mind seeing all these old farts phoning in on more reactionary opinion columns and Wikipedia-level analyses of current events. Yeah, they really need ghouls. Like, that's like, if you're a Lasombra, you need that human connection, which I think they did really well in this game as well. With I was gonna say Kentucky, but that's not Kentucky, Nebraska, Omaha, Delaware. Like, getting closer, and now I forgot her name. Actually, I think it's Dakota. Dakota, that's the one. just listing off American place names. Like, is that states or is that cities? Click, clack, click, click, clack. They used to destroy and rebuild my entire worldview every month. They shaped my thinking about politics, art, journalism. They even pointed me towards my favorite cigarette brand, for God's sake. There we go, War Mage. Your comment didn't show up there, so there we go. They're states. Okay, so I nailed some states. I'm Swedish, so I should be excused for messing up. But it's Dakota, that's her name. They used to destroy and... Oh, there we go, cigarette brand. Content creators. Yeah. Then some talented people started leaving for greener pastures. Some got too wrapped up in their own neurosis. Some became complacent. Oh, I hate people who are complacent. All of them committed the sin of allowing themselves to grow older. Fresh blood was deemed unnecessary, even though young freelancers kept being bled dry. This kind of system reminds me of some other organization where the old people just kept phoning it in and the young people and the talented people are leaving for other organizations. I just can't connect the dots here. Oh yeah, she isn't. I played the game, don't worry about it. She's not a ghoul, but she's that human connection. These days, whenever someone from outside Lodestar yeah, big warning, this is going to be a spoiler heavy stream because I've already played this twice, so I know what's going on. That's why I'm going to be doing a lot more commentary on it. Techbane, what if men keep Lasombra from being trapped by technology, more focused on their clan destiny? Maybe Lasombra stream part of the book nod. You know, that's certainly a connection that's interesting to worthy of exploring. Like, why did their flaw change? Because that's what it did, right? Because it didn't used to do this. It was just video recordings. Was it tape recordings? I think it was only video recordings and mirrors, right? And photos. You couldn't take photos, I think. These days, whenever someone from outside Lodestar talks about Lodestar, it's because of a few idealistic contributors willing to accept meager pay while putting in serious work. Dumbasses. Other than that, the magazine specializes in publishing pale echoes of provocative ideas I heard somewhere else a few years prior, wrapped in an aesthetic that hasn't been cutting edge for decades, or a decade. Now, Julia, what does that say about you that you're still writing for this magazine? Maybe it's the fact that you're also complacent, is that it? No wonder the readership is in free fall, but even though the ship is sinking, the old guard won't let it go down without a fight. As in, if anyone from the outside attempts to board the vessel in hopes of fixing its course or its holes, they will be swiftly taken care of. I should know. Been there, done that. As it stands, the only full-time staff member who doesn't make me regularly attempt to cringe my face off with his writing, is Brian. It's Lodestar's editor-in-chief, Brian, the man sitting in front of me right now. Nguyen. I know Nguyen, is that Is that how you pronounce that last name? Of course, he only has time for editorials these days. A drop in the sea of needs, managerial duties hit him hard. Yeah, if you're going with coteries, what you gotta do is you gotta... there's a difference between Shadows and coteries, right? Because Shadows replaces all your nightly events every time you go to sleep. Coteries doesn't. So coteries all have their story paths that you have to follow, and they never change. So my suggestion is focus on getting 2 coterie members. That's all you're going to be able to do. Then pick a side story or 2 and go with those. When you're playing coteries, this is one of the things I really liked about this game, is that you never had to be like, oh, should I pursue this, should I not? Because every night it changed, right? Coteries not so much, and that's one thing I think they realized and fixed in this game, because in the last game you really have to pinpoint what you're working on. Oh, hi Skeleton King, how you doing? Oh, Win, thank you very much, Edward. It's good to have native speakers on the stream. Very sorry for mispronouncing that name. It's the second time he lets out a theatrical cough like this. He said his piece, now it's up for me to react, and I'm coming up blank. How do you become a prince? You're powerful enough to take that position, and you're dumb enough to want it. Those are the 2 criteria to becoming a prince. Technically, you're alive. Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Alive, that's a little bit of a thing. Like, am I alive? Am I a vampire? Who knows? But becoming a prince basically means staking out a city as your territory and having the power to keep that for yourself, or being basically the only person who wants to rule over that city. Like, you can take, I'm not going to curse this early in the stream, but you could take like butt fudge nowhere and be like, I'm the prince of this town of 20 people, and no one's going to contest that. But if you want to be prince of New York, you got to have the cojones to back that up. Helen Panhard, the current prince of New York, actually was a bit of a dark horse running because she's the child of the previous prince. But she got the position because, God, I forgot his name. Not Oculus, that's Beckett's buddy, but the other one, Nosferatu, who became temporary prince of New York. He just didn't want to have it. And a couple of vampires wanted to do it, but Helen seemed like the safest choice to go with. Oof. Sorry. Oh, man, the chat is going real fast. Yeah, Robin, that's a good thing to point out. Sorry if the game is going to go slow, but I really want to talk with everyone in the the chat as well. Well, Edward, I mean, you're a native English speaker. I actually negate the most side quests and got 3 code errors. Yeah, I think you can only get 2 at the end, so... yeah, the Nosferatu is D'Angelo. I really like D'Angelo. Calibros, thank you. That's the former Prince of New York. He became temporary prince in like 99 after the Camarilla kicked out the Sabbat. Because New York was a Sabbat city for like 20-ish years, and before that, it was a contested city between the Camarilla and the Sabbat. But Sabbat mostly held the city. Like the Camarilla had a few keeps, like the Chantry of the Five Boroughs, which is where Ashland Sturbridge is. That was always Camarilla. The Sabbat never managed to get in there. But, you know, it was Sabbat City, if not by ownership, then by name. Yeah, Helen does a pretty good job. No, I like talking to people in the stream. Besides some streaming, like if I wanted to just upload the gameplay, I would have done that. But what do you want me to say, Brian? I'm pissed off. I can tell you've already made up your mind, but you still want to go through the motions just to make me feel listened to. Whatever, let's do this. The man is a sexual harasser, Brian. I feel stupid that I even had to say this out loud, but you're essentially covering up for a sexual harasser, Brian. No, I'm not. No, just face it. Let's say that Harvey Weinstein's story appeared on your desk instead of reaching the New York Times. Don't you compare me to the Times. You know that's a low blow. You're asking for it, and you're not exactly in a position to talk about low blows here. You know that's not the core of the issue. You're avoiding the core of the issue. No, I believe I pinpointed it in a precise way. If it were up to me, I'd greenlight the article here and now, and we wouldn't be having this conversation. But you're killing the article. Just because some rich shithead told you he doesn't like it. Get real. This is not about some millionaire jerk calling me to make me an offer I can't refuse. What is it about then? Because it looks awfully like... It's about my bosses telling me this outlet cannot afford the legal actions we have already been threatened with. Yeah, and Numerator, if there's any changes you want me to talk about, let me know. Because V20... V5 is more of an evolution of V20. V20 still is kind of Metaplot agnostic in the sense that Revised Edition had the majority of the Metaplot. V20 was kind of treading water for a long time because V20 was more of an all-encompassing, holistic view of vampires. So, with some exceptions, but V20 was more lore agnostic, or Metaplot agnostic anyway. So, millionaire interference. Oh, for crying out loud, Julia, don't make me treat you like a child. You know how this works. I publish your story, it's Thiel versus Gawker all over again. A lawsuit here, a lawsuit there, until we're bled dry. I have a mortgage. I have 3 mouths waiting to be fed at home. I have an amazing team that does not deserve to be torn apart over some... Don't you think it's telling you mentioned your mortgage first? Silence. Just asking questions. I know better than to get into these empty semantic arguments with you, Miss Sawinski. You're good at them. The problem is, you're still not good enough. Meaning? You're too in love with weaving a good story and establishing a seductive narrative to let facts get in the way. You've got enough boring suits with no principles on board these days. They always give you facts because that's all they can do. I'm using facts as a way to approach some kind of truth. Except facts can blindside you, and Double Spiral, that's a name we know, has enough facts to water down your story to the point where it makes no sense to publish it. That's the company that Hope takes over. Spoiler, sorry about that. Yeah, told you this would be a spoiler stream. Hope takes over in her storyline. She essentially kills, or has the previous owner, who is currently the owner of Double Spiral, killed, and she takes over the entire business. Their HR and PR are working overtime to deliver a convincing counter-narrative, and they're doing a great job. Won't mitigate the damage completely, but will put every little thing in question. Jesse Montgomery is a racist, a fraud, a sexual predator, and a downright satanic fuckhead. Oop, there's the first curse. Julia, let me say it again. Jesse Montgomery is a racist, a fraud, a sexual predator, and a downright satanic fuckhead. Do you personally believe it or not? This is not... You've listened to the tapes, you've read the transcripts, you've seen the documents, you've got the files. I'm asking for your personal opinion. Do you believe it or not? Click, clack, click, clack, clack. Silence, you can cut in with a knife. Of course I do, but that's besides the point. It's not. Look, how about I just say it out loud and save us both some time? Yeah. I want a new New York by Night. I really could love digging after Chicago by Night. It's such a great setting book. I hope they make more books like that. I hope they don't make a Stockholm by Night though, because I'm working on my own. Sorry about that. Sorry not having had any streams about that lately, but it's a Patreon thing now. Not that I'm not the world building, but the playing. I have a bunch of people in the chat actually who are playing it with me. We're not having this conversation because there's an actual conversation to be had. You set up this meeting knowing very damn well there is only one way it's going to end. You've got a mortgage and 3 mouths to feed. I would seriously trust this company to make a New York by Night book, to be honest. They know the setting very well by now. You prioritize the well-being of your direct surroundings over some nebulous concept of greater good. I get it, I really do. Yet, for some reason, it seems like you're only prolonging this conversation and rationalizing your decision so that I forgive you? Officially exonerate you? I'm not the bad guy here, Julia. Oh man, Blade. That's awesome. Working with Stockholm for my own chronicle, it's so nice knowing the city you're working with. It's so easy for me to, for myself at least, paint up this mental image of what's going on. And it's easier to describe the place as well. I know the cobblestones in Gamla Stan, I know the church on the Södra Mountain, I know it like the back of my hand. So it's easy to conjure up the appropriate place for things to happen. Yes, Brian, you are the bad guy here. No, so what are you? What are you then, in your own words? A man who does what is necessary to protect his own. So I don't count as your own anymore? He mutters something under his breath, ending with a self-pitying chuckle. Sorry. For some reason, Bambi, your comments, I think it's because you're using a lot of emoji in the end. I think every time you say something, it gets locked, so I have to click to activate it. I'm sorry for pointing it out, just that I think because you add the emoji at the end, the chat filter goes nope, this is spam, but it's obviously not. He mutters something under his breath, ending with a self-pitying chuckle. I don't know if you'd even want to work under a scumbag like me from now on. Oh, come on, don't turn this into a pity party. No, I am absolutely a scumbag. Well, I mean, Edward, you can have vampires living on the countryside and plenty of room for werewolves, if you know what I mean. Well, there's really nothing to read into that. There's plenty of room for werewolves. And why is that? Because I'm firing you. My thoughts are scrambled. For a brief moment, the state of my bank accounts displayed before my eyes with startling clarity. A howling void opens in my chest and starts traveling towards my stomach. I'm fortunate enough not to have been fired, although a couple of times I've come to realize that I will probably be fired soon. Sorry for the lag in my camera, by the way. It's my phone. It's being weird. Because I did some warehouse work, and all of a sudden I didn't get called for 2 weeks. I'm like, I guess I'm fired? I don't know. But turns out they didn't have any work, but I left anyway because can't live like that. No, don't panic yet, you idiot. Get more information now. There must be a catch. And what about my work? Let me get this straight. Ever since we met, I've been working on stories and pieces no one else in your office would touch with a 10-foot pole. That is a D&D reference, by the way. I'm not sure Julia would make that reference, but... Or is 10-foot pole not only a D&D reference? Maybe it isn't. Constantly interviewing total nobodies, always busy traveling to the middle of nowhere or regretting my last trip, repeatedly ordered to clean up someone else's mess. Julia, all your long-winded spiels about how the disposable work is the most important work, and suddenly you only remember the disposable part? My feelings about the quality of your work remain the same as ever. It was vital. It kept the magazine going. I will always appreciate that. Oh, I didn't know that. That's good to know. Then why would you threaten to fire me? I would never threaten you. It's a done deal. They've made their decision perfectly clear. They? What they? Who is they? He glances left and right and then points upward for a short moment. When he speaks up again, it's in a hushed voice. You know, the big kahunas. Can't really question them. They wanted your head on a silver plate. He's not looking me in the eyes. You're not joking. I would never joke about stuff like this. It's real. Fucking hell, it's real. Alright, and sorry, that's ESL for you, English. English as a second language. English as a second language learner. There we go. I pronounce things good. Yes, things good. Damn it, all to hell. All these years, all this grind, all my plans, and for what? Fucking asshole, you know I deserve better, and I always deserve better, and it always ends with me going down the drain back to the sewers. Fuck. No. Take a few deep breaths. Don't lose the plot now. Keep yourself together, you idiot. The moment you show weakness, they go for the throat. Get back in control. You can't do this. I wish I didn't have to, but it's a lost cause. Mea culpa. I mean, favorite clan in the Camarilla. Not favorite clan, because Prey Set. Technically, you can be Lasombra and a follower of Set. So, the two things are not mutually exclusive. No, I mean, it's impossible. Julia, you can't fire someone who's never been hired in the first place. It takes him a few seconds to put on his, oh, I get it face, let out a troubled gasp and start massaging his temples. Lodestar has been my biggest source of income for the past few years. That much is true. But technically nobody has ever hired me here. It was all freelance job. A full-time position only served as a kind of a dangling carrot, a promise of a decent pay grade, career perspectives, maybe even some kind of insurance to save my failing health, and the recognition I would get for being a part of the Lodestar team, a position that everyone around me seems to respect, aside from me. Then why did I want it so much? There will be a time to mourn what could have been. For now, I should act like I don't care. You know what I mean? If I let you work, even under a fake name, it would be a guillotine for me. This is ridiculous. You know I'm going to start shopping this story around the second I leave this room, don't you? Of course I know, I told him. Any response? Let us worry about that. Michael, I'm not sure I catch you. Is Julia sick? She's not sick, she's pissed. Well, that doesn't sound ominous at all. Click, clack, click, clack, click. Is Matthew Dawkins in this room, perhaps? Well, that should have been followed by a bang, then, if he was. I do want... You don't have to pity laugh, by the way. Not that I could hear you, but please don't. I do wonder if I could get accustomed to one of these loud mechanical keyboards some people here love to use. Whenever I did my work in here, I was still expected to bring my own crappy laptop and sit closer to the lobby. Always on the outside, no matter how hard I tried to break in. Now, the thing that makes me wonder, having played this game a couple of times, was she made to, or did she simply choose to? A vibration in my back pocket. Feels like a bad omen. I decide to ignore it for now. I've been working on this fucking story for, I don't know, 16 months on and off. I know. You kept cheering me on. I know. We have even agreed on the pay I had received. I know. I'm 2 months behind on my rent. No, wait, 2.5. I catch him off guard. He's momentarily taken aback, and then he gives me an emphatic stare. Oh, thank you, Bambi. I'm happy you're watching. I'm glad you're here with me. Let's see here. Oh, ooh, Blade, you used a naughty word. YouTube doesn't like it when you say asshole. That's censored. God, I really wish I could just go through this filter and figure out what... I'm not even streaming for kids. Like, I specifically clicked it not for young people, but... I don't know. Whatever. Don't you look at me this way. You don't have the right. I didn't know. Well, now you do. Look, if there's anything I can do to help, if you can't tell your big kahunas to fuck off, I don't think there's a single thing. Julia. I pull out a smoke and light it up. Gotta get back in control. Please don't do that. There's a smoke detector here. No worries. Nick turned it off a few weeks ago. Probably the most creative thing he's done in the past 5 years. Good old Nick, the perfect 21st century cinema reviewer, never has an original thought of his own, just relies on his purely algorithmic taste to stay likable. And the best thing is, it works. Funny, I used to dream about his job. It was Brian who killed this dream, making me realize Nick won't be unseated anytime soon, and offered to teach me the ways of an investigative journalist instead. Wasn't the career I ever wanted to pursue, but to my dismay I turned out to be surprisingly good at it, until this Montgomery thing happened. Serves me right, lesson learned, should have pursued my dreams instead. Stop it, Nicholas is a good friend, a respected critic, a member of my team. And put out that smoke. People tell me I let you step all over me. Why do I even let you act this way? Because you once told me honesty is the most important thing in a mentor-student relationship, and that it works both ways. And because I thought we were friends. He bites his lips and stares sideways to avoid my eyes. Yes, he does indeed bite both of his lips at the same time. However you do that... Ow, yeah, I did that now. That hurts. He bites his lip and stares sideways to avoid my eyes. At the end of the day, bosses aren't friends. It must have been a terrible mentor if I didn't ever teach you that. I'm not even gonna humor his pity train. The best I can do for now is just stay silent. I don't feel too stable right now, like I could explode any second. Julia, I might have failed as a guide, but I will do what I can not leave you stranded, okay? I mean, there are options. None of them are a remedy for all your troubles, but... Wait a second. Another vibration in my pocket, another foreboding feeling. This time I reluctantly take the smartphone out of my pocket. If it has to rain, why not let it pour? A new email. It's a lengthy one. And the sender? Speak of the devil. No. This can't be. Christ. I just got an email from Mila Lopez, not Mila. She claims she's just been laid off from Double Spiral, same as Mike Antonoff and Jared Rivera. What happened? I'll spare you all her insults, okay? The key thing is, it seems their HR knows all the confidential information about my journalistic investigation and used it to shut everyone's mouth. Hi Memphis, how you doing? Hell, apparently Montgomery walked up to Lopez as she was emptying her desk and told her to thank me for being a, quote, dumb and careless cunt. Ooh, that's a no-no word. Gonna get demonetized. Brian goes pale. I think he has a very good reason to. You fucking scumbag. You outed my sources? What? Of course not. What are you even saying? Oh, don't you dare play coy. It must have been either you or me. No one else. And you know the way I work. My investigation was basically untraceable, both on and offline. Carefully picked meeting spots, encryption upon encryption, every direct quote rewritten 5 times just in case. All sorts of red herrings scattered around. I know my shit. You know I do. And this timing? Did you just pass a flash drive to your beloved big kahunas during a meeting as a sign of goodwill? Look, I get you're upset, but why don't we just talk this through calmly? See you next Tuesday. Yeah, it really is a good game. I love it so much. I have played it before, but playing it again, and especially talking with you guys while doing it, it's making it even more enjoyable. I'm going to say that. Big Kahuna Burger. Yeah, I agree. Okay. Okay, let's take it step by fuck you. Fury takes the wheel, and I'm just here along for the ride. I can't do anything about it. In a deranged way, realizing you're just a passenger in your own body feels liberating. I've been there. That is such an accurate description of when shit just gets loose. It's liberating, and it's scary as shit. I don't like it. Let's just see it all unfold. Calmly. Fuck you, Brian. I went British there for a second. Julia, I've been paranoid for months and months, acting like everyone I didn't know was an assassin or a corporate spy. I know I haven't messed up, not in a way that would implicate all of them. You... Goddamn, you thought you could get away with this? I haven't done anything improper. Don't push the blame on me. So what, you're claiming it's my fault? Because you're never the guilty one. It's always the bosses, the economy, the obligations you have, and now me? You're being silly. Quit with this marchable. Oh, go. Calm down, or I'll have to. You immoral shithead. You motherfucking. Calm down, for God's sake. And so it goes. Yeah, Bambi, I'm glad you're enjoying this. I'm having a time of my life as well. It's unfortunate that it's not as accessible as it could be, but it's a small studio. I can imagine it would cost a lot of money to get this thing voice acted completely. Yeah, I'm gonna get demonetized for sure. You know, if they spot it. So far, YouTube's actually been very lenient with my streams, so who knows. It's fine. If it demonetizes, it demonetizes. I yell out a lot of words I wanted to say for a long time, but I held back. No, I didn't hold back now. I fling a lot of insults I've been workshopping for years, hoping I'd never use them. I break a few things. This is so relatable. Julia, I relate to you right now. At times, for a split second, I see pity in somebody's eyes. It's gonna haunt me for a long time, but in the heat of the moment, I don't care. Swearing in non-English feels dirtier, I think. Except for the F-bomb, which honestly I use way more than I should. These people, no, this company has nothing left to offer me, so at least let me take this catharsis. That's one of my favorite words, catharsis. In the end, a security guard has to escort me out of the building. Very dignified. And that's the end of my journalistic career. Time to start flipping burgers in Big Time Burger. Scene change to the metro. I just feel like my world has crumbled into nothing. Should I do them in Swedish? Oh man. Let me tell you a funny story, by the way, speaking of Swedish. So who here is a Marvel fan? Marvel comics, especially. Because it's a funny little guy coming around now. His name is Knoll. Now, can anyone here guess what that word means in Swedish? I mean, I've kind of already hinted at what it might mean. Yeah, I don't read much Marvel, to be honest, and I like some of the movies, but Marvel to me, it's Disney, you know. Oh, I wish that's what it meant. I wish it meant bitch. It does not mean bitch. It means, it's basically the worst kind of F word in Swedish. and the text, the things that they've knulled the covers, so they've changed the heroes to be knulled, and it's like, you could have Googled the word. It would have taken you 2 minutes to realize what it means. I mean, sure, Sweden is a small country. Swedish is a small language. There's only 10 million of us speaking it. But I'll tell you what, Swedish Twitter went bananas when that was released. It's the worst kind of F word, basically, knull. It is literally, yeah, it's fuck, but it's much worse, basically. Oh, it probably has. It's a short word. Like, if you use anything with just like one vowel, it's bound to mean something not appropriate in one language or another. That's why you never stick to one vowel words. Anyway, I mean, you have every right to, like, it's Dakota. What kind of voice should I be doing for Dakota? I mean, you have every right to. Like, Jesus, if I were you, I would have already broken down into a sobbing mess. This is just a little bit lighter, I guess. Is that fine? Should I go? If I were you, I would... No, that's way too light. I can do like a voice like this. If I were you, I would have broken down into a sobbing mess. Let's just do a normal voice. I'd love to, but I'm on a subway. Far too proud to cry in public even now, and it's stupid. But I feel like someone out there keeps destroying everything I hold dear just to see my reaction, like it was a prank show and someone was waiting to record me crying. So out of sheer spite, I'm doing my best not to cry. Fuck you, whoever and wherever you are. That's the most Julius Sawinski thing I've heard. Well, that's the most Julius Sawinski thing I've heard. I can't be doing that. I don't think that's a Dakota accent. But how would a Dakota accent be? You know, that's the most Julius Sawinski thing I've heard. Spite is the greatest motivator, huh? Yeah, that's a good voice for it. I'm not feeling particularly motivated to do anything right now, to be honest. I just want to stay in my bed until my shithead landlord calls the cops to forcefully evict me. Dakota's from Georgia. Not surprised. Shit, I know that whenever life decides to fuck you over, it's always one thing after another, but this is too much. That's the voice I gave, what's her face? Sophie Langley. Not surprised. Shit, I know that wherever life decides to fuck you over, it's always one thing after another. But this is too much. I'll go with a normal, just slightly breathier voice. Is this still Dakota? I don't think it is. They are in a relationship. Yes, Michael, I would absolutely say they are in a relationship. How much is too much? Let's recap this last week of June 2019. I've been kicked out of my job. Well, not that I've ever been hired, so let's just say my mentor broke every vague promise he ever made to me. That was a cat pushing something down on the floor. A big thing I'd been working on for a year and a half went down the toilet. It's all useless. My boss didn't protect my sources properly, and now they keep trying to reach me through every possible channel to threaten me or just yell at me, and they have every right to react like that. All of my side gigs were shut down. Nobody's replying to my emails. Someone's been dragging my name through the mud behind the scenes, and it worked. I still have no idea who's sending these shitty messages around. I've been asking, but... Oh, wait, that was Dakota. God, I hate that. Listen, don't worry about it. A werecat, yeah, I wish. She is a little nightmare. We have been closing the door lately to our bedroom because they will wake us up at 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 6 in the morning, and 7 in the morning to give them water or food or just to give them attention. So now we can actually sleep for a solid 5 or 6 hours without having to get up and feed them. Yeah, they're designed to push things over. You're absolutely right. I'm not going to stand idly by and watch you get cancelled by some mean-spirited, delusional... I said don't worry about it. I have 3 unread messages from my landlord. The message previews were stressful enough. A call came from Chicago. Apparently Dad had a bladder cancer. A bladder cancer, sorry about that. Apparently Dad has bladder cancer. Mom is in hysterics. She'd go crazy if she heard about my situation. So I have to pretend everything is okay whenever she calls. And she calls every day. And she just won't hang up before she offloads all her burdens on me. And I can't blame her because we all had to learn to cope with Dad's psychopathic tendencies somehow. Man, her life is dark. I was robbed. All my documents and what little money I had, gone. Don't even know when or where it happened. And it's driving me crazy because I'm always extremely wary of pickpockets. So this writing right here, this is this is Lasombra in a nutshell. I mean, in case you're not familiar with the clan, they like to, when they're actually embracing someone they want to embrace, like when they're not doing shovel heads, which Lasombra also of course do, but when an actual, honest to goodness Lasombra wants to embrace someone into the Sabbat that they want to be, proud of, or at least have a relationship with, they will do this. They will systematically ruin a person's life. They will cut off their friends. They will, or even turn their friends against them. They will take all their belongings. They will ruin everything they hold dear. They will grind them into the muck. And if that person just says, fuck it, I am not gonna let this ruin my life. I am not going to give up. I am not going to end this. I'm gonna scream my anger into the night. You got yourself a Lasombra. That's how they do it, and I love it. It's such a strong, good thing to have it like as a clan, because it's just like, it really encapsulates everything that this clan is about. The list goes on. The list I was previously talking about. I don't want to sound paranoid, but it really feels like a concerted attack. Paranoid is good. Anyway, I know you always hand-wave this topic away, but just remember that if anything happens, my place is your place. You don't have to get through it alone. I do. I've been a trouble magnet, and as self-centered as I may be, I don't want it to affect you. I know. Listen, I have another call. Alright, just call me if anything happens, no matter how dumb it seems, okay? And swing by whenever you can. I don't know if this voice is distinct enough, and I'm like, the code is gonna have a lot of lines, so I don't want to do a voice that's gonna be too difficult. Oh my god! Thank you, Edward! Oh, super chat! Thank you! Thank you for the donation. I wish I had like a little thing that could pop up on... I could have a little thing that would pop up on the screen. Let me do something. Let me see if it works. Image. Oh no, is it on this computer? Great success. Just to celebrate this, thank you so much. That's awesome. Thank you a lot. Let's see if I can find it. Primogen. Streaming. Yeah, I could on Twitch, absolutely. I'm definitely not gonna do Twitch though, not with the last thing they've done. Oh god, no, I can't. Give me like 1 minute to try to find it. If I can't find it, we'll keep going. But I just really want to use it. Has any one of you played Helltaker? Fuck it, I can't find it. No, I cannot find it. I think I left it. I think I even removed it because I got upset about it because I couldn't get it to work. So Ed gave me... what they did. Twitch basically are going to implement midstream ads, which the content creators won't have any control over. And that's kind of garbage, in my opinion. Because like if you're streaming an actual play, or if you're like... Because I think it doesn't even pause. Obviously, it doesn't pause the stream. The stream will keep on going in a little window at the bottom of the screen while you're like watching this ad, and of course the stream will be muted. No, I can't find it. So if you played Helltaker, which is this really small little free puzzle game for Steam, there's 2 skeleton guards popping up in the corner, going like great success, and that. And I want to have that in my, my stream just to be like, if someone donates to my super chat. I don't know, it's silly, it's stupid. Probably not appropriate for a World of Darkness stream, but I don't know, I like Helltaker. I'm a simple man. I see demon waifus, I click like, I don't know. But yeah, it is really bad. I'm not a fan of Twitch to begin with. I don't like Amazon. I'm not going to go in a spiel about that because whatever. I have the luxury of being able to not use Amazon. Not everyone has that luxury, but I'm not a fan of it. Yeah, that's right, Blade. You're absolutely correct. Working on my storyteller voice. Best girl in Helltaker. Oof, Lucifer. Yeah, she makes pancakes. I like pancakes. Palachinka. So I think that game's from Poland, if I'm not mistaken. And Kitsu, my partner, is from Slovenia, and they also call it palachinka, and they make pancakes the same way, really, really thin. They even put carbonated water in it to make it like extra crispy, and then they put like Nutella and whipped cream and stuff like that on it. It's so good. I don't like Nutella, but with those pancakes, So good. I put my phone away, exhale, and blankly stare in front of me. Yeah, Melina's cool. Well, I like them all. They're all good. Like it's such a good game, and it's the perfect length too. Christ. Look at me losing like 50 subscribers. No, I'm not even gonna go on that. Whatever. It's 2020. People aren't gonna shame me for having anime waifus. I do simp a lot. I thought that was like an insult before when I was on the Onyx Path stream, so we actually banned the word simp, and now I'm like, it's simpering. It's like, it's just a word. I simp for people. I have some people I simp for sure. I glance at my reflection in the window. Just look at this idiot. God, this is such a bad stream to watch if you actually want to learn about the game. I'm sorry. Whatever. Let's keep going. I glance at my reflection in the window. Just look at this idiot. Whenever the situation requires me to dress formally, I still feel a bit like a child cosplaying as an adult. Should have just followed the dress for the job you want advice and continued dressing up like a trust fund kid who keeps partying on Brooklyn rooftops for years without a care in the world. It's only after a while they realize the car is empty, unnaturally so, that I realize the car is empty, unnaturally so I start feeling uneasy, but someone enters my peripheral vision. Yeah, we're all good. Like, as long as it's not, going into weird territory. Like, I don't think you should be stalkery about these things, and like, I think parasocial relationships is going to go into the parasocial relationships with influencers in general, which means to like influencers and content creators and people on YouTube and stuff like that. Yeah, I guess I'm one of them now. We put on this facade, like, this is obviously not how we are in general. Like, obviously, if you listen to my normal videos, yeah, she's a bad bitch. So I'm going to get this little rant out of the way very quick, and then we're going to continue with that. Like, obviously, the real me is not who you're watching and listening to right now. I mean, I'm more close to the real me now because I'm streaming than I am in my lore videos. My lore videos are very clean. There's not a lot of me in there. So the person you're getting to know on these streams and these videos is not actually a real person. I'm not the one that you're listening to right now. It's not your friend, I guess. I don't know. That's harsh to say, but I think the relationship I have with everyone here is watching something is fine. I don't feel like anyone's being weirdly parasocial about it. But I see some people obsessing with YouTubers, obsessing with influencers to the point where they think they are intimate friends. You're not. And don't act like you are. God, this feels like I'm addressing someone in the chat. I'm not. I'm so sorry about that. It's just, it's kind of scary and weird. And if you want to be friends, you can be friends. If you approach them about it. But like, yeah, they might tell you stuff about their personal lives, but they're a performer. They're performing. So simping is fine, I guess. Just don't take it too far. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is all a side gig for me right now. I wish it was my life, full-time thing. I am working more or less full-time teaching, so I'm going down in time. Want to spend more time with my channel. The reason I've been so quiet lately is because I've come back to work. Summer was, I'm a teacher, summer vacation. But yeah, I mean, the Discord stream, everything is nice. Again, I don't think any of us have a parasocial relationship, because I don't think anyone is like sending me messages on Facebook being like, hey, can we hang out or something. Like, that's not happening. I teach English, which means I should be better at English than I am, but I make do. All right, let's focus on this bad bitch now. She's great. I teach community college English. And that's the last thing I consciously register. The word dissolves. When I come to, I'm out of the subway, standing in a back alley I don't recognize. It's pretty dark. My eyes start adjusting, and I try to figure out what's happened. Thank you very much. I'm glad you like my English. It has gotten better since I started. That's for sure. There's a gun in my hand. A faint silhouette at my feet. It's not moving. Somebody stands in front of me, covered in shadows. I can't fully make out her face, but she's staring at me with visible intent. She speaks. Her voice is raspy and androgynous, her tone hateful and mocking. Aren't you a nasty one? What is going on? Who are you? Don't play coy. Raspy. Oh, don't play coy. No, that's not androgynous. I'll go with that voice. My mind goes blank. I look at the ground. There's a body riddled with bullet holes, and I recognize who it is. Was. The corpse belongs to Mike Antonoff, one of the double spiral whistleblowers, my source. He was just threatening to get back at me a few hours ago. Before I can feel even the tiniest bit of compassion, I face a terrible realization. They will think I'm guilty. Oh my god, am I guilty? How is this real? You have done something to me, haven't you? Back in the subway. That was you, wasn't it? A man is bleeding out at your feet, and you're turning this around on me somehow. I haven't done anything to him. Again, don't play coy. You knew him. He was mad at you. You started telling him sob stories about your situation. He wasn't having none of it. You got mad. Things escalated. He died. This isn't true. It's plausible, but that doesn't make it true. What does it? This is just a nightmare. It doesn't even make sense. It must be a dream. And if it isn't, the person in front of me must be responsible. There's a faint voice in my head screaming that it's her world, that I'm just living in it. What the fuck have you done to me? Nothing yet, but I'll do what I can to get you locked up for life. This is a murder in the first degree with special circumstances. I still get this weird dip in my voice, so it doesn't sound very androgynous. Her detached voice and nonsensical tone only reassures me this can't be real. I refuse to believe it is. Before I even manage to think this through, I point the gun at her. If I did murder him, you wouldn't be acting like that. You wouldn't be standing in front of me. You'd be running away, calling the police, begging for help, yelling that I'm a psycho. Oh, you are a psycho, but I'm not a coward. I won't let you walk out of here alive. This doesn't make a single lick of sense. Tears well up in my eyes. Why are you doing this? Because sometimes one has to confront what they're really made of. There's no two ways about it. She's gotta be nuts. Slowly but surely, she starts walking towards me. Stop right there or I'll shoot. Go on. It's the only way you can get off the hook, isn't it? The only way you can survive. But you will definitely prove you are the monster I claim you are. What the fuck is this tone? So controlling, inauthentic, patronizing. I'm serious. For your own sake, you'd better be. She keeps getting closer. Maybe I did kill Antonoff. Maybe I don't deserve to live. Maybe it's less tiring not to live. Maybe I should just let her take care of me. Maybe I will just wake up. Or maybe this insane reality needs to be rejected as violently as possible. Maybe a world that wants to destroy me deserves to be destroyed. She's right in front of me. It's now or never. I close my eyes and squeeze the trigger. A loud bang echoes through the alley. Yeah, if I don't shoot, I die. I should do that because I don't have that achievement, but that would really just put an end to this entire playthrough, wouldn't it? I'm afraid to look at what I've done. I've been to a shooting range once and felt absolutely horrified by pistols. Such a small thing, but it can easily puncture a hole in the fabric reality is made of. Never knew I'd be able to use it against another human being. The very thought makes me want to puke. You were a right choice, after all. I'm so glad. You haven't allowed yourself to break, but you've crossed the line I needed you to cross. There's a silent flame in you that could become an inferno if left unchecked. I sure hope it will. She's still alive. Her voice is coming from behind me. She puts her hand around my waist, and her cold mouth touches my neck. I can feel my shirt getting violently torn off. I don't understand, but I'm too dazed to protest. That was your final test. Congratulations, you have proven yourself worthy. I can feel something sharp sliding into my neck. It's not too painful, just startling. Think a doctor pushing a needle into your vein without a proper warning. Then it hits me. Pure bliss. The dopamine receptors I've considered completely fried until now suddenly recover and start bombarding me with pleasure I've never known before. I finally let the tears go. They come flooding. They've been waiting for years. It's such a relief. Is it raining? I feel like I'm in the middle of a deluge, at least, washing away all of my fears, all of my sorrows, all of my anger, all of my pain, all of my ego. I become one with the world and the woman behind me. She's holding me tight, making me feel like it's the only important thing in the world. Everything else blurs. I feel something intense towards her, something I've never felt before. Is this love? I hope it is. This is not you. His is a familiar, cynical voice in the back of my head. But it's okay. I never felt particularly fond of me anyway. New York, you're perfect. Oh, please don't change a thing. He who laughs in the shadows always has the last laugh. Hallelujah, praise be. When everything is cliche, nothing is. Isn't that the ever-distant utopia I've been chasing all along? People on the other trains, I hope you're doing fine. God, shut up, just enjoy it. You finally understand. She's making love to me, she's giving birth to me. She's burying me. I'm pretty sure I've been dead for a while. I'm pretty sure I could stare at my own corpse in her hands from a distance. For a moment somehow. And then I'm alive again. She lifts her mouth from my neck. No. Wait. I taste blood in my mouth. Was I drinking her blood too? I realize that whatever this was, it's over. And I have to bask in the afterglow while I still can. I also immediately understand that I'm going to chase this fleeting feeling for the rest of my existence. Finally, she lets out a whisper which concludes the ceremony. No matter what happens next, don't forget, you're a monster. But you were lucky enough to be born into a world of monsters. So don't ever mourn that fact. Embrace it. So good. This is the best depiction of an embrace I have ever read. I'm not even kidding. So good. Nailed it. Draw distance. You nailed it. You saw it, you took it, and you ran with it. I love it. Sorry I got completely into that scene. I shouldn't even have bothered interrupting. I'm sorry I shouldn't have interacted with you guys during the scene because it's just so good. I liked this game when I started playing it. That scene nailed it perfectly. It's just excellent writing. Once again, I find myself in Big Beeper. Familiar surroundings, faces I recognize. Mood same as it ever was. Still, I process it in an entirely different way. It all frustrates me now, or more precisely, makes me frustrated with myself. It's like I'm clinging to the remnants of a cocoon I've outgrown. Okay, so, what I have to say here now, again, this is a theme we're going to return to through this game so many times, so many times Julia is on the precipice of absolute change. She tastes it, she feels it, she lets it go. Spoilers, I know, but this is this game in a nutshell. This is a game about finally making a choice. That's what this entire game boils down to. So, if you're in here for murder mystery, if you're in here for coterie, I mean, there's going to be stuff like that. This game is about a choice and consequences, and I think they just absolutely nailed that in the story. I'm going to keep playing for a little while, but sorry for gushing over this, but they took everything I liked about coteries and made it better. And as an aside, this is a visual novel. I think I mentioned this in my review as well. Visual novels generally have a very little choice in the matter. It's not a choose your own adventure. It's not a interactive, well, it's an interactive story, I guess, but it is a visual novel. It is a book with art and sound. That's what it is, with the added advantage of occasionally offering input into the story. So if you have expectations like that, I would recommend everyone to play the When They Cry series of games. Higurashi no Nakukoro ni in the first one, and Umineko no Nakukoro ni. Umineko is Umineko. Sea cat, which is seagull, and sea cat in Japanese is seagull. When They Cry is the benchmark visual novel series. Art isn't very good, but it's an excellent story. Who's scratching on the floor? Oh, someone's scratching on the door. They want to get into kids who are sleeping. But the When They Cry series is a benchmark visual novel series. I think this game is better, in my opinion, that at least Higurashi can't really say about Umineko, because that's an entirely different thing. Yeah. Let me just read the chat for a little bit. Kadir and Helen. Yeah. Oh, yeah. God, I gotta go back and watch those, Huddy. I'm so sorry I haven't been keeping up with your streams, but you do excellent voice acting. You have a voice to die for. Okay, let's go back to the game. Still, I process it in an entirely different way. It all frustrates me now, or more precisely, makes me frustrated with myself. It's like I'm clinging to the remnants of a cocoon I've outgrown. Ugh. It's the same with these cigarettes. I don't need them anymore, so why do I keep holding on to them? Fucking hell, it's like I refuse to accept that I'm something better than I used to be. A vampire. Just 2 nights ago, I met Karen. She embraced me, by which I mean she turned me into a kindred. She calls herself my sire, and me her child. Last night she taught me the basics of survival, drinking blood, manipulating humans, bending steel. You know, normal parent-kids things. Controlling shadows. Tonight I expected more lessons. Instead she just told me to go out and enjoy myself. What's the catch? I asked, to which she responded, I might kill you if you prove to be a disappointment. There are a few rules. I have to uphold the Masquerade. I can't contact anyone I knew as a human. I can't let anyone realize I'm not human anymore. I can't embrace anyone, and so on. Otherwise, I'm free to do whatever I want. But for some reason, the first thing I did was to come back here. Old habits die hard. Karen is probably watching me from somewhere even now. The way I understand it, tomorrow night she is supposed to introduce me to the Camarilla, a local society of vampires. Turns out they are the ones who have been systematically ruining my life lately. All a part of some secret evaluation that I barely passed. Just imagining the reach they have makes me dizzy. Sorry about that. After they destroyed the old me that I barely cared about, Karen rebuilt me anew. On one hand, her tests left some scars that will take time to heal. On the other hand, maybe I should just be grateful. I am snapped out of my thoughts by a sudden scream. Some douchebag yelling about his french fries not being salty enough. I think this is my cue to leave permanently. Goodbye, BBB. I hope I never see you again. I'm destined for greater things, you see. Sure you are. Let's see, who are we going to pick? I'm not going to talk with this guy again. I hated him. Let's go with the retributive justice. Retributive justice. A meathead bully and his unfortunate victim. I barely shouldn't interfere. I probably shouldn't interfere, but what better chance could I find to test what I've become? Oh, oops. There we go. Two men are facing each other in a dark back alley. One of them stands with his back against the wall, his chest heaving as he's struggling to catch his breath. People, anybody out there? I'm being robbed. Apparently a British person. A brawny, rugged guy is okay, I should have probably done that. Brawny, rugged guy's voice is yelling at metal staircases with a theatrical incredulity in his voice. With a lively step, he dances around an older man who's having trouble finding his footing. What is this bullshit? Oh, so now you can talk. Good, because I'm dying to hear what you did with my wallet, Holmes. Wallet? I have no idea what you're talking about. The goon starts prancing around like a Muay Thai boxer. He's smiling, but his eyes send a clear message. You're cornered, buddy. Don't even try to pull a fast one on me. Come on, homeboy. You may be able to trick an average Joe on the street with your act, but a fighter recognizes a fighter. It's like an animal thing. It's an instinct thing. You've got some moves on you. You're like shit. You're like a black mamba. Lightning fast reflexes. He starts shadowboxing for a moment. The man's definitely got energy to spare. However, I'm like a king cobra. You've met your match. Two apex predators. Apex shark predators. Now locked in battle. Oh, so you're seeing snakes? That would explain some of this. Before he's even able to finish, a sucker punch knocks the air right out of his lungs. The old man slides down the wall. It didn't look that old to me. Before he can let out a groan, he's interrupted by a brutal kick to the chest. That's what I'm talking about. Fighting spirit, even when you're cornered. Ugh. Take a seat. Deep breath. Collect your thoughts before you speak up again. Remember where you put my wallet now? I think I'm pretty sure you broke my ribs. An eye for an eye, a rib for a ribbing. Biblical punishment. It's only fair, homie. Fair? At least admit that this is a mugging. A wallet my ass. Still in denial? Okay, let's say I had about $5,000 in there. Give me $6,000 and I'll let you walk away, relatively unharmed. So you admit it? Admit what? That this is not about proper compensation? This is a robbery? Who talks like this? Look, buddy, this is beginning to bore me. Unless you want me to go all Anderson Silva on your ass, give me what I want. Anderson Silva? Yeah, Anderson Silva, a flying knee meeting your solar plexus. The man, the myth, the legend. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Thai boxing, Western boxing, Taekwondo, Wing Chun, and Capoeira combined into a single fighting style that can be only described as straight-up murder. I get the feeling that the people who wrote this game are into MMA. I'm not sure, but I get the feeling. I've been studying the glorious singularity that is Anderson Silva for years. Every move I have, I owe to him. So if you don't want the snake to turn into a deadly spider, show me the money, honey. Right. Summer 2013 Las Vegas. Huh? Watched it live on pay-per-view. Weidman saw through all of Silva's tricks, whooped his ass, broke his spirit, showed him what a fraud he is. The man hasn't been the same ever since. All the empty showboat... yeah, literally, you two are bonding over MMA fighting. I think someone who wrote this was really into MMA. Nobody talks like this. I'm sorry. This scene, I had forgotten about this one. I feel like this one is not the greatest scene. I'm sorry. Hollow taunting, drunk on his own Kool-Aid. Jesus, of course you idolize him, asshole. For a good minute, the goon silently looks down at the whimpering man at his feet, chewing on his lower lip. And when he finally speaks up, his voice betrays an intent to kill. You know what, homeboy? Screw the money. This is a matter of honor now. My thoughts exactly. Yeah, obscure Japanese movies. That's another thing, yeah. They're really into that stuff. Huh. He raises his fist. We've got ourselves a mixed martial arts expert here. Yeah, no shit. I don't even know who this Silva guy is. Huh? For your own sake, I hope you can back that talk with some self-defense skills, homie. Oh yeah, I agree, Blade. The dictionary section is it does feel like it's Julia telling it. Like we have the child thing here. Sort of like what a sire calls his or her vampire progeny when they're being naughty. Sort of like when an exhausted mom calls their kid by their first name. Also tends to be the go-to when somebody feels like they're out of an argument and needs to make their seniority known. Plural form is childer. So sort of like when an exhausted mom calls her kid by their first name. What they use their last names otherwise? I don't know. I was always called by my first name, so I guess I can't relate. You know, let's take a chill pill. Jesus, take a chill pill, homie. Oh my god, the writing. Okay, I feel like this scene was a mistake. The other scenes are good, though. He jumps at the sound of my voice, turns my way in the blink of an eye, and immediately assumes a combat stance. These reflexes are sharp. Looks like he has at least this much to back up all his bravado. Wannabe Anderson Silva's face betrays utter confusion upon seeing me. He's got no idea how I managed to sneak up on him. I don't blame him. I wouldn't be able to explain it myself. It felt like I became one with the darkness, my pure consciousness traversing a dusky dreamscape, jumping from one shadow to another as if they were different trains of thoughts. This one thing I am going to comment on is I feel like they underused that other realm with the shadows. You'll see it when we get there. I feel like they could have done at least one more scene with that in this game. Yeah, it would be great if we could get a character sheet for her. I think of some experiences I've had with psychedelics. Every blink an adventure. I was outside of this alley, blink. I was above the alley, blink. Now I'm in front of this guy. And he pisses me off. The older man slumps down. Looks like he was trying his best to keep it together and gave up once the cavalry arrived. Yeah, it's a little bit weird that she has all these power when she's starting out, but I think maybe her sire's an old... I mean, if she's supposed to be the representative in New York, I'm assuming that her sire's at least a couple of generations higher. I think, is she like 7th or 8th, her sire? But that would be weird, because then she'd be having the beckoning happening. Or, maybe they just made it so it's a game. The goon regains his composure and barks at me in an overly gruff way. The hell are you sneaking around here for, chica? Move along, this is between men. Yeah, not anymore. His fists turn towards me. I'm serious, and an equal opportunity ass kicker. I respond to the threat with the brightest, most innocent virginal smile. Virginal? I'm from Virginia. Virginal smile, I guess we'd say that. I can put on. God, me and States tonight. Yeah, I think he's supposed to be Hispanic too. Yeah, they're definitely laying it on thick with the chica and the ese and the hombre and all that. So you're into shadowboxing, huh? Something comes over me. I can feel the darkness embracing me, whispering sweet nothings in my ear, pumping me up for what's to come. Crane kick? Really? Let's go, just go reverse elbow. Might as well give this a try. Before he manages to respond, my elbow crashes against his face. A few bloodied teeth land on the ground. I know what he's thinking. I should have blocked it, and he absolutely should have, but instead he just flailed his arms helplessly as he suddenly found himself in front of an oncoming train, a primal expression of fear that suddenly and completely took him over. I don't know how I look right now, but judging by his expression, my best guess is like the gaping maw of some primordial beast. I follow up the surprise attack with another punch to the solar plexus, or at least my nearest estimate. Once again, the effect terrifies even myself. Looks like my hunch was correct, and I hit the right spot. He falls to the floor, whining like a wounded animal, tears streaming down his face. I let him collect himself a bit, and then grab him by the chin. I love the music in this game, and I love the cello. It is so good. And the bass, it's just so deep. Learn to choose your battles, homeboy. Let me go, for Christ's sake, just let me go. I kick him in the direction of the alley entrance. He staggers off, quickly disappearing from my sight. I check on this victim. Looks like he's conscious. Well, you've whooped his ass, girl. But hasn't noticed anything out of order. Good. I was getting worried I might have overdone it a bit. That woman did say that keeping a low profile will be crucial if I want to survive. You alright? Need help? He managed to stand up. His smile is strained, but it suggests he's fine, or at least trying his best to seem fine. No, you gave me all the help I needed, and then some. Thank you, miss. What's your name? Oh yeah, she's really kicking ass in these clothes. The one thing that I really like about this game, which I think I mentioned I'm going to be headcanoning from now on, is headcanoning, is that the eyes of Kindred glow in this game, and they glow at varying levels. Some have violet eyes, I think. We have orange eyes for Julia, things like that. I really like that. It's a really nice touch, and maybe they're just reflective, like cat's eyes, perhaps. So that would be so cool if they were. Jessica. Thanks, Jessica. I was worried for a second, but this asshole's bark was worse than his bite. He's probably in worse shape than me now. I guess that counts as a victory. I'd better be going. My wife is probably worried sick, but before that, if there's anything I could do to repay you... Wallet, please. I'm going to be playing Julia as a complete asshole this run. Yes, there is. A wallet, please. He gives me a puzzled stare and laughs uncomfortably. Then he realizes I'm serious and goes pale. Not this again. You might have gotten lucky with that washed-up Silva wannabe, but I am basically Joanne Jedrzejczyk. I'm so sorry. Jedrzejczyk. I guess I didn't take Julia for an MMA fight fan as well, but there you go. You don't want to mess with me. Wallet. He considers his options for a moment before breathing out a deep sigh of frustration and passing me his wallet. Jedrzejczyk, huh? You're an MMA fan? An ex-copywriter. Oh, there you go. It used to be my job to know all sorts of useless garbage. He raises his eyebrows and then gives the wallet in my hand one last longing glance. Don't even think about it, Black Mamba, unless you want your friends to hear about a scrawny copywriter girl kicking your ass. God, I love her. Gonna say it, I'd let Julia step on me. Wouldn't even complain. What an unconvincing threat. I want to crack up at the tone of my own voice. Just a completely botched delivery. Still, somehow it worked. The man makes a quick exit. Well, as quick as his limp lets him. I peek into the wallet. $5,500? Wow. Are you fucking kidding me? Who has $5,000 in their wallet? Look, if I had $5,000 in my wallet and someone was like, give me the wallet, I would have fucking risked it and legged it. Julia doesn't have a handgun. I mean, yeah, okay, sure, he's staggering, but like, fuck me. $5,000? I don't think she's gonna make a cameo in Bloodlines 2, unfortunately, because I think this game was developed last year. I think at that point most of the writing was done with Bloodlines 2, as far as I know it. Yeah, if he's got that much cash on him, then he's probably dealing. Yeah. Oh yeah. She keeps. I should just not assume stuff and just keep reading. This keeps happening to me. Who the fuck carries that much money on them? My guess is it wasn't obtained legally. I just hope they're the real deal and not marked bills or whatever. Seems that my rent has just been taken care of. Jesus. The future's looking bright. Yeah, maybe they actually were, like, both of them were dealers or something, and he was trying to squeeze the other guy out of money. I don't feel too bad about taking it now. Yeah, it would be cool to see them show up in Bloodlines 2, but unfortunately, there's, like, different studios, and I'm not sure, like, I know that Mr. Moist, Mr. Damp, he shows up in chapters. Yes, that's the one. He shows up in chapters. But that's different because he'd been announced way back. Like, I don't think Julia was announced until like spring this year. I think spring. So like, not an awful lot of time to work her into Bloodlines 2. This game is canon. Yeah, all games are canon in this series. I think. Actually, that's a good question because I think Bloodlines 2 is not strictly V5. I'm not sure. Yeah, I like calling Mr. Damp Mr. Moist because I like it, makes him sound less intimidating. Ooh, Tamika, that's good. Tamika's love, Tamika's life. This club reeks of death, and I love it. I've been here quite a few times, but I've never seen anything this breathtaking. Everyone around me is whacked out of their minds, and as they keep dancing madly, the spirits dance beside them. Spectral silhouettes phase in and out of existence, becoming more visible the more intense the music grows. It looks like a bizarre ritual, a profane mass. I notice it's the voice samples the ghosts react to the strongest. The most suggestive ones cause them to appear distorted, even tormented. It's as if something was struggling to be born out of the harsh sounds, and the dead were hoping to be reborn alongside them. She's so poetic in this game, like she's so good at describing things. Like everything was delivered very flatly in coteries, which makes sense because you were supposed to project onto this character. Julia is just, she's so wordy. You can tell that she's a journalist or a writer. Speaking of wordy, did you guys all catch that comment when someone was like, man, this guy keeps talking a lot during my review stream of Coteries of New York? I mean, I do. Can you blame me? I love the sound of my own voice. Yeah. Probably the same as when they were alive. Sometimes the living dancers spot their dead counterparts. It's usually the most manic ones, who notice something out of the corner of their eye for only a split second, but never realize what they've glimpsed. I think they're gonna go with a good one, staying in New York. Some apparitions dance to a completely different tune than the rest of us. One only then they can hear. Those seem the saddest. Good question, Michael. They cannot use that to eat food. No, you will need specifically the merit eat food to be able to keep food down. The spectacle is eerie. At times, it's unbearably melancholic. Above all, it's beautiful. Blush of Life makes you look like this. It also lets you use touchpads with your fingers. And have breathing, like breathe, have breath come out of your mouth. I think even saliva, potentially. In V5 at least. It makes you basically look human. Pale, but human. I keep on moving to the rhythm until I reach a trance-like state, and then something even stranger happens. Every now and then, when I brush against someone, a fragmentary vision appears before my eyes. Oh yeah, you can try to hold food down. You can probably do it for a little bit, but it's gonna go up after a bit. A car burning on a freeway, an outstretched hand in the depths of the sea, a man jumping out of a skyscraper window. Memories of the past, preventable visions of the future. I have no idea what it means, but I'm strangely eager to find out. And then there are dancers like her, ones that aren't ghosts, humans, or even vampires, but something else altogether. This new world is full of mysteries, and I plan to get to the bottom of them all. But for now, I just want to dance. Alright, so if anyone here is good at crafting, I will literally commission you to make a replica of Agaton's jacket in this game, because I want it so badly. I will pay you for it. Wow, what a night. I love this shot, by the way. This is my favorite shot in the entire game. I watched Times Square from above. It's beautiful. Never thought this place could make me emotional, to be honest. But here I am, feeling deeply moved. Who would have thought? Getting up here was surprisingly easy, all things considered. Took more thought than physical effort. Earlier tonight, I started experimenting with his body's limits. I realized I can jump over small buildings and climb steep walls with ease now, and my whole perception of space has shifted. I planned a scenic route across the rooftops. I did my best to avoid attracting attention, just as I was told. Stayed in the shadows as much as humanly possible. She smokes, Michael, because it's cool to smoke, and it's a habit she has trouble kicking. That's pretty much it. I spot it's also a good cover. Good, because mortals go out into the night to have a smoke. Perfect excuse to try to find prey. I spot a drone from afar, and for a second I feel uneasy, but I remember what she told me. Machines won't get a clear view of me anymore. Camera footage, photos, it's all glitched out or blurry. Wouldn't take it for granted if I didn't try to catch my reflection earlier on. I couldn't see my face clearly, not in the mirror, not even in a puddle. Here comes this cello. My face was like one of Dali's clocks. She told me to keep a low profile regardless. Someone might take note and track you down. She didn't care to elaborate, but it didn't sound encouraging. Suddenly it hits me that I might never be able to see my own face again. I won't even be able to take care of my looks by myself. And what about the long-term psychological effects? A knot of anxiety tightens in my stomach. Jesus, this is probably just the tip of the iceberg. What else is going to change? Calm down. Wait a moment. Wait a second even. These past few nights have been the best of my life. For years I was in a downward spiral, failing health, no future, a feeling of overwhelming powerlessness. Now everything has been flipped upside down, a total paradigm shift. A bad ending is no longer the only option. I am actually looking forward to tomorrow. I forgot how that feels. Where it used to stand at mere seconds to midnight, the doomsday clock has been effectively turned off. A cold breeze brushes my cheek. As stupid as it sounds, I'm getting tired. I choose to read it as the world telling me to chin up. I can bend anyone to my will. I am capable of superhuman strength. I am a master of shadows. I can even pay my rent, in Brooklyn of all places. I can do anything. Tomorrow night, I will be introduced to my duties, and if everything goes according to plan, I will become a New York City representative of Clan Lasombra. Whoever they are, whatever that means, I have no idea what to expect. But tonight is tonight. I'm free. All my worries from a month ago feel like they belong to someone else. Finally, things are looking up. And I think that's a perfect place to end today's stream. We didn't get that far, unfortunately, but I did do a whole bunch of talking unrelated, and of course we had technical issues in the beginning. Everyone watching lately, I have cut that part out because that was just silly. So everyone, thank you very much for showing up. I will try to do another stream soonish, possibly during the week. I do have other obligations. I need to get started on some Patreon videos and letters, but I will get back to you. I feel like most people have already played the game, so I'm not super in a rush to have these episodes chug out, but if you're new watching this and you haven't played the game yet, once again, I've said this many times, this is a very, very spoilery stream because I played the game a couple of times, and basically we're here to talk about the narrative, we're here to talk about the lore, stuff like that. So if you haven't bought the game yet, go get it. I strongly recommend it. I made a review which is fairly non-spoilery. You can find that on my channel. Everyone in the chat, thank you so much for showing up. I have time for some last minute questions actually before we end. The worst thing you can do to a Lasombra, fleshcraft them a new appearance because they will never be able to see their new looks. Robin, you are a Tsimitsi of my own heart. That would be the worst thing you could do to a Lasombra. Thank you very much everyone for watching. Thank you for watching. Like Robert instead of Robbie. Oh, yeah, Nemroid, that makes sense. Thank you, Warmage Ragnar. Thank you very much, Arrows Arcana. Thank you, Stupid Gaijin. It's a Fantasy. Thank you very much for showing up. 3 Beyond the Sun. Thank you so much for showing up. Blade. Thank you. got it down. Edward, my buddy, my pal, Eddie, if you're still watching, thank you so much for the super chat. I truly appreciate it. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for dropping by. It's been a pressure. It's been a pressure having you all here. You can tell that I'm getting a little bit tired. It's midnight. Yeah, I know, Wilma. She's telling me to go to bed. Oh my God, she's really telling me to go to bed. Yeah, I said the same shit. Only a drug dealer walks around with that kind of cash in a wallet. Yep, for sure. Later, skater. Take care, everyone. You people rock. I'm gonna go get some sleep. You should too, Huddy. It's the same time where you are. Wilma, come here. Come here. Whoa. Oh, sorry, baby. But I'm gonna show you to the stream. She is so mad at me. Hello. This is Wilma. Hello. Oh, boo. She is princess. Boo. Princess. Boo. Now I let her go because she's mad. Good night, everybody. Take care. And send your love to Wilma. She needs it because we locked the door during the night. She is very upset about that. Bye, everyone. Take care. And stay safe out there. Because Gehenna may soon be upon us. I had that as a voice clip. I could have played it, but I changed computers since then. Bye.